boy.
7:30 a.m. I have a really busy day starting today. First, I'm going to be delivering to Oliver, and I got about 50 pounds of mushrooms in here. All of that's going to be heading out to Oliver this morning, and then I got to get back here on the farm. We're doing lots of production, and I got Clay and Simon doing that. I also have my aerothermal guy here. He's going to be redoing the lines here for the split heat pump. Right now, this is actually in the way of our construction. So this actually comes up, this line actually comes up to the door, and we're going to be building this out this weekend and putting up the walls, and that pipe is actually in the way. So we're going to be redoing that, actually coming up top, and that's going to be going just above the shelves there. We're going to be drilling a hole and redoing that. And we also right now have our exhaust just at the back there, and that is going to be blowing into the new building, so that's going to have to come out below there where that pipe is right now. And long-term strategy, we might be venting all of our clean HEPA air into some kind of cool down room for our new sterilization design. So we're just getting that in place right now, and whether or not we move forward with that, we'll be ready to do that if we want. So I'll just bring you guys in the lab right now and show you exactly what I'm talking about. So we got lots of blocks growing in here. Actually, I'm going to turn on the flow hoods because the guys are going to be working in here. So a lot of CO2 buildup just from all these bags in here. So right now, the split heat pump is coming in just from up top here. And I've cleared out the shelf just up here, and we're going to be bringing that in just into this unit. And then the exhaust we're going to have actually come out just out the floor here. Right now the exhaust is right here, and it's just a pipe that I've tuck taped a little bug mesh there so flies and stuff can't get out. Really simple. It's a passive exhaust. So this new building is going to be 40 feet, and we're going to be able to keep this lab separate. We're going to keep the door here. The new lab is actually going to go right here, flow hoods right against that back wall, and we're actually going to have a three flow hood unit that we can have 3 people working at. Each flow hood will work independently, so we can kind of, you know, bring in a little bit of fresh air if we want, or we can have all 3 on and bring in a lot of fresh air. And we'll just kind of figure out what our needs are. But each flow hood is going to work independently on the intake side, but we can have all 3 running at the same time and just recirculate air if we don't want to bring in too much fresh air. So that way we can save on energy costs, and we don't have to be heating or cooling our building based on how much air we're bringing in. And we're just kind of meeting the needs of what the bags need as they're growing out. And we're just trying to remain room temperature in our building for incubation, and we'll try to be as energy efficient with that as we can. And then we have, so the lab might be about 12 feet, and it's going to be one big open room this time, no dividing wall. And we'll have the head of the split heat pump just up top there, and then all that air is going to get exhausted back, and that we're getting 1 unit that's going to be enough to do this entire building. And then if we decide to expand another 40 feet that way, we're actually going to need to buy another unit. We just had our aerothermal guy here yesterday, and I thought we were going to be able to use the existing unit in here, but this is actually at capacity. So we're getting a small unit that can handle this expansion, and then we'll need to get another small unit that can handle the expansion that might happen in 2 years. The alternative is getting a unit that has a 4-head unit that could do the entire building, but we're looking to spend about $15,000, whereas if we get a small unit, we're looking to spend about $5,000 right now. And we can't even really sell the existing unit that we have. We'd be lucky to get maybe a few $1,000 because it is used. So this is the direction we're headed for that. So for this construction that's going to happen on the weekend, I had Clay cutting some 2x6 back here. All of the walls, they're going to be 7 feet 6 inches, and then we're actually having two 2x6s on top that are going to hold the whole frames of the wall together. So 8-foot walls, and the studs inside are going to be 7 foot 6 inches. So we just started cutting those. We're getting them square, and then just cutting those with the saw back there. But this is really cool. It's going to come up pretty quick. Really excited to see this expansion getting started. So I'll just bring you guys in the greenhouse, show you guys what's going on right now. We're harvesting about 20-25 pounds a day, and that's only going to increase as the weather warms up, and we're going to be moving into probably harvesting twice a day in about 6 weeks. So we've been harvesting mostly tree oysters, and the pearl oysters were about 4 to 5 days behind, but they're just starting to grow right now. So we're looking to probably do about at least 100 pounds next week, I think. So, this week we've done about 80 pounds in the last 3 days. So everything's picking up pretty good. So this is greenhouse 2, and again, everything in here has been overwintered in our lab. But lots of production just starting. Well, beautiful wine country is definitely where my business is in the Okanagan. We're in Summerland, British Columbia, and today I was heading to Oliver and Osoyoos. All of those restaurants on that delivery route, a lot of those clients are some of the oldest clients that I've had for my business. I've been doing this for about 6 years. This is my 5th year in Summerland, and I used to work at a restaurant down south, and that's where I started my business. So whenever I start up again in April, I always like to hit some of my oldest clients and catch up. So that's exactly what I got to do today. I got back, and Clay and Simon were just finishing production, which, you know, was great for me, but, you know, really miserable cold day for them, and I appreciated them for working really hard. And then I went and harvested, and it was only about 15 pounds again because it's really cold, so that slows down everything for us. This is our overwintered greenhouse. This is greenhouse 5. We just took the tarp off the other day, and the only thing I noticed with greenhouse 1 is that the tuck tape, we were letting mushrooms just pop through the tuck tape, and that was actually causing almost bacteria to grow on the mushrooms. Water was getting trapped between the mushroom and the tape, and we were getting some bacteria and mold problems. So the strategy for our overwintered second flush production is we just ripped all the tape off when we initiated this greenhouse. Everything in here was covered with a trucker tarp, and for the most part nothing fruited. Even though we're getting highs of 13 Celsius, everything was pretty much dormant in this greenhouse. So really, really cool, and it just shows you how much light is a trigger for these, for oyster mushrooms specifically. And now we're just trying to figure out what species we can overwinter effectively. Right now we're focusing on tree oyster and pearl oyster, and both of those are doing fantastic. And I like both of the strategies we're doing right now. We had all of our stuff freeze in lab 2, that would, then all of that went into greenhouse 2. And then if we have production that we haven't quite finished harvesting, so in this case we started harvesting our first flush and then we had to shut down in November, we let these go dormant, and blocking out the light and taping up the slits with tuck tape is a great strategy, but you definitely need to remove all the tuck tape. So this greenhouse has basically been initiated in one shot. We're starting to fill greenhouse 4 right now, and then we're going to be shutting down greenhouse 1, which is just over there, tomorrow. So we're way ahead of schedule this year, about 3 weeks ahead of schedule, and the overwintering has been working out. And I suspect in 2 to 3 weeks, I'm going to be bringing you guys in here and showing you how amazing this greenhouse is going to be working for us as well. So anyways, guys, that's all for now. I don't really have much to do today. My employees did everything on the farm, so I'm going to just catch up on some rest. We got a big day tomorrow, and I think I have some more deliveries to do as well. But that's all for now, guys. Leave your comments below. We will talk to you in the next video.